Hello everyone. Today I will show you how to make this cute little purse, and it's super easy to make and very fast. It will take you about an hour and a half. So for this you will need t-shirt yarn or any yarn of your choice. If you're using t-shirt yarn, you will need 1.5 centimeters, about 120 meters, and a 5.5 or 6 millimeter hook. So we will start with making a slip knot and making a chain of 35. The longer your chain is, the easier it will be for you to create the bag, but don't make it too long. I found that 35 was the best option. Here I'm just going to show you on a little sample at first, because I already started making the purse and then I realized that I could record it. So here I did something a little bit different for this first row. I'm doing half double crochets and I'm starting from the second chain on the hook, and I'm continuing in each and every chain. I'm inserting one half double crochet until the end of the row. As you can see, I'm going in the back. I'm working these half double crochets in the back stitches, and I explained in one of my last videos why I do that, so you can check that. And when we reach the last chain space, we're going to insert 4 more half double crochets. So this is the first one, this is the second, and now we're going to have the third, and we're going to add the last one, the fourth, together with the regular half double crochet that fell into this stitch. It's going to be 5 half double crochets. This is going to create the turning point, the turning chain. And now we're going to continue working all the way around until the end, and we're going to work our way through by crocheting half double crochets in that back stitch, in the back loop. I hope you can see I'm going in the back. I'm not gathering both of these little V's. I'm just collecting that last one, that one that's in the back. Make sure when you're ending the row to catch all the stitches. Don't miss any of them, because that will make your work lopsided and it's not going to be even. So work your half double crochets all the way to the end. Once you finish the row, chain 1 and turn your work. And now for this row, we are just going to start working our half double crochets from the very first chain space from the hook, and this is what it looks like. It's already creating that very nice line. So here it is. I'm turning my work, I'm yarning over, and into that first chain space I'm going to insert the first half double crochet of this row. And it is very simple. You're going to work half double crochets all the way up until you reach the top of this row, but before we reach that rounded edge. So right here, what we're going to do, we're going to work in those top 5 stitches like this. We're going to chain 1 in between each of the half double crochets. This is going to create increase. I don't personally like to do increases in the same stitch because it creates a little bulk, and this is a very good option to do that. So instead of creating the bulk in the same stitch, you just chain 1 and then proceed with your half double crochets. So it's going to be 5 chains and 5 half double crochets. And once you reach this portion, you are going to continue with half double crochets all the way until the end. And once you reach the end of this row, turn your work, chain 1, turn your work, and start working half double crochets all the way to the top. When you reach the top, you're going to work every second. After every second half double crochet, you're going to have one increase, which is just going to be a chain of 1. You're going to start at approximately 9th chain space from on the both sides. So you count 10 stitches, 10 last stitches, and after you chain 1, you do 1 half double crochet, you're going to chain 1, and you're going to continue doing this. So 2 half double crochets, 1 chain, 2 half double crochets, 1 chain. And once you finish the top of this row, you're just going to continue with half double crochets all around until the end of the row. When you reach the end, make sure to catch all the stitches. Don't miss any of them because it's going to make your work uneven if you do so. Then chain 1 and turn your work. Now you're going to again work half double crochets all around. So this row that we just did was all half double crochets around the entire row, no increases at all. And now again we're going to turn the work and we're going to work half double crochets until we reach the top. It is a lot easier to keep your work on a flat surface because at this point it's starting to become a little bit heavy and bulky. And now when we reach the top, you're going to check again last 10 stitches on top, and you're going to do increases in the following way. 2 half double crochets, 1 chain, 2 half double crochets, 1 chain, until you exhaust all those 10 top stitches. Very easy. I guess the only issue with this purse is the tip of this rounded tip, and of course you could just be making a straight bag that's going to be square or rectangular, in which case you will not have this little dome, but I find this to look very pretty when I finish the bag, especially because of this relief that's creating little braids, and I think it looks adorable. One thing that is very good and important to pay attention to is to try to have consistency in tension, which you can see here. Maybe there are a few spaces that look a little bit bigger, but in time this will fall into place. So as I'm using the purse, so I didn't really worry about that much. And this yarn is very elastic, so when choosing the yarn, try to find one that's not as elastic as this one. There are different elasticities when it comes to t-shirt yarn. Choose the one that has less elasticity. And here the top of this row is again 2 half double crochets, 1 chain, 2 half double crochets, 1 chain, and you're going to continue doing that all around. If you want to see it in a slow motion, you can adjust the speed, you can slow it down, and if that can help you follow along. I did not want to bother you with the whole process because that video would be very long, and because a lot of it is just repetition. If you see me pressing my work, it's because I want to make sure that everything is lying flat and that everything is done correctly. Sometimes I'm going to count my stitches just to be sure that I'm on the right track, because it's very easy to get carried away and add a few more stitches where they're not needed, and then the whole work is going to look a little bit wonky. So now after this I just finish with half double crochets, and this is my last row. This was my last row, and now I'm going to just finish this edge. It is not necessary, but I like to have it finished. So I chain 2, and then I do half double crochet in each of those chain spaces. These are the chain spaces for each row, so practically in between of those each of the rows that you created, you're going to have 1 half double crochet across. And again, the same thing goes for this row. Don't miss a single stitch. Count them if necessary, just to make sure that you have all of them. And now I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to decide which side of this piece is going to be the front side. So I decided for this one because it has a nice middle, and I proceeded with putting it together, with like practically sewing it together. So this is what it's going to look like when it's done. So I need to do the sewing on the inside. So I'm going to flip my work, paying attention not to lose that thread, and deciding on which stitch I'm going to start sewing, and in which stitch I'm going to start sewing it and putting it together, because I want the back to have a little bit of space for the phone and for the wallet and other things that I want to carry, but I don't want it to be too big. So I'm going to pull out the yarn, and I'm going to practically do slip stitches all around until I reach the end. Here I'm actually doing single crochets, which is a mistake. I mean, it's possible to do it that way. It's not a big mistake. It's going to work, but I think it's just unnecessary waste of yarn and of time. So by the end, you will see that I started doing slip stitches, and slip stitches are the best to put your work together, and it's the easiest way, and it uses the least yarn. As you can see, sometimes I'm struggling with the yarn because of the position I'm in while I'm recording this, and also because the yarn is very, very stretchy. But aside from being stretchy, it's super soft. It feels very nice under the arm, and it's, I think, one of the smoothest I've ever had a chance to use. And when you reach the last part, secure your work so it doesn't get untangled, and you're going to repeat the same for the other side, just with additional piece of yarn Make sure yours is longer than mine. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to hide these little tails so that everything looks nice and neat. If you're going to create, if you're going to make the lining for this purse, you don't really need to do this step because it's not going to be visible. For this tutorial, I decided not to do that. And this is what you're going to do. You're going to turn your work inside out, and you're going to work those edges, and you're going to press it. And now the purse is almost done, and it looks so cute. Anyways, this is how you're going to create that little clasp. These magnets are very cheap, like 20 cents probably each. There are some that are more expensive. I don't necessarily think you need to pay that much, like $1 or $2 for one. It's ridiculous, but anyways, if that's your choice, go ahead. Sometimes they are better quality depending on the country you live in. So you're going to literally tie it to the purse, and this is better done and best done if you turn your purse inside out again. And you're just going to tie little knots, or you can also use needle and thread and sew this piece together. For the purposes of this video, I just tied it because I will reuse this yarn for something else, because I already have a lot of bags and I really don't need one. I just wanted to show you how to create one very quickly, especially if you're a beginner. So just tie those little knots if you want to secure it, and I advise you to do it. Just use yarn and thread and sew around it. And now I'm going to add the top part so that we can put them together, the top magnet, and I'm going to insert it in exactly the same way, but I'm going to try to hide it from being visible on the other side. And there are various ways to do it, and there is no right or wrong here. You can again use needle and yarn and sew everything in, and I think that that's the easiest and the best way because it's not going to create any kind of bulk. I'm here trying to show you how to do it very quickly. This takes about 5 minutes to add. It's really nothing special. And again, I'm tying little knots here and there, and I mean, I just needed to last for this video. But this is how you would work it so that it's not visible on the other side. If by any chance you decide to add lining, I will show you in one of the next videos how to insert this into the lining so that it works and it does not bend as the fabric moves. So now the purse is over. As you can see, there are some little tongues inside, but I'm going to show you how I attach the rings on the side. These jump rings are going to be there for the strap. For the strap, you can practically do whatever feels good for you, and I find that I prefer my purses to have they have straps made of chain, and that's what I'm going to use this time. So for the chain, I need to have jump rings, and I'm again sewing them practically in, attaching them to the purse with little pieces of yarn. And again, I'm going to use the same principle. I'm going to tie little knots, and that's as easy as that. You practically do it here, and you repeat everything on the other side, and your purse is done. Here I have already prepared the chain with these little clasps at the end, and they're very good because they're rotating. So yeah, I just attach them, and the purse is ready to go out and see the world. So this is it. I really hope you enjoyed this little tutorial. If you did so, please comment, like, subscribe, and share. It means so much for my channel, and hope to see you soon. Bye!